Do you not find it odd that the man who was executed in Missouri yesterday was in prison for unaliving a reporter who was at the time looking into the current governor of Missouri, Michael Lynn Parson? Yeah, Michael Lynn Parson, the one person who could have easily saved the life of Marcellus Williams. Well, back in the day, it was alleged that he may have been selling bad gasoline that hurt a lot of people. That's how he got rich. And just so you know, Michael Lynn Parson is the same guy who pardoned Tweedledee and Tweedledumbass when they attempted to shoot protesters during the George Floyd protests. Emphasis on tried. I'm just pointing this out because it could be ascertained that the one person who had the most power in this situation is the one person who had the most to gain from both unalivings of Felicia Gayle and Marcellus Williams. And one could ascertain that somebody should probably investigate that. Yeah.
In the wake of Governor Mike Parson publicly lynching Marcellus Williams last night, we are now all starting to dig a little deeper, and by a little I mean really deep, into Mike Parson and who he is and what relation he actually had to the victim being Felicia Gayle. All right, walk with me on this one. Mike Parson, he not only served in the police force, but he was also a businessman. So he owned a gas station, and from one gas station, he expanded into 3. So he was actively expanding his business and trying to be successful as a businessman, while Felicia Gayle, she was a reporter and social worker. So Felicia Gayle, she was reporting on gas stations and how they had like a bad mix of gas, and she was impacted by it, like injured. So she was trying to bring to light all of these different harmful impacts of what gas stations were doing and how that was impacting the city. I wonder why Mike Parson would have any reason to misplace blame. Just so we're clear, Felicia Gayle was reporting on gas stations doing bad things that she herself was impacted by as a social worker who is committed to values like service and social justice and integrity. Yeah, she's probably going to be doing an investigation that will reveal harm, because that's what social workers do when they are in positions like reporting. So Mike Parson, remember, he was the one that owned the gas stations and worked in the police department. Interesting connections, right?
This is Marcellus Williams, a man who was just executed by the state of Missouri after his own prosecutors, U.S. representatives, and millions of Americans asked the state not to do it. You want to know why? Well, the answer is politics. See, the person who pretty much pushed for this execution is this guy, Governor Mike Parson of Missouri. But first, you got to understand something. A little while back, this guy named Donald changed the face of politics forever. He showed that if you want votes, you've got to do anything for them. And Mike had a problem. He would do anything for votes, even go as far as look like a clown. Let me explain. A little while back, a reporter found that in the Missouri school's website, you can find the teacher's social security numbers. This was not what he was looking for, so he's like, oh snap. He calls the governor's office. The reporter said, listen, broski, I found the teacher's social security numbers on a website you control. This is a pretty simple issue. Just take it down. The governor said, okay. Are you a hacker? The reporter said, no, I'm a reporter. Mike said, oh, okay, let me just do a press conference. I'm gonna clear this whole thing up, hold on. Now, right before the school district was gonna come out and thank the reporter, Mike Parsons makes an announcement. He says, a hacker hacked the website, leaked the social security numbers, and now they trying to blame me in my office? They're doing it to embarrass me. So I'm sending out the highway patrol to go after them. The reporter said, me? Mike said, yes, you. So instead of just saying, I made a mistake, Mike Parsons decides to double down. He doesn't want to look stupid in front of his voters. But he messed up, because this issue was actually a lot simpler than it seemed. See, what Mike Parsons failed to understand was the social security numbers weren't just on the front page of the website. They were on something called the source code. It's public information. You right click, you click that, and you see a bunch of letters and numbers, which is why the governor thought he was a hacker. The highway patrol right clicks, They click source code and they say, oh, okay. Missouri Highway Patrol takes a report saying he's not a hacker to Missouri prosecutors. Missouri prosecutors are like, why are you giving me this? The Highway Patrol is like, the governor wants you to prosecute him. The prosecutors were like, no. In fact, prosecutors came out and said, we're not spending taxpayer dollars on this. Everyone looks at the governor. The governor admits he was wrong. Psych, stupid. Haven't you learned anything from this TikTok? He triples down. He said, those teachers got hacked. The state did an investigation, and prosecutors decided by themselves not to press charges. None of this is my fault. Now, does any of this sound familiar to you? Marcellus got convicted of a crime. The governor pushed for his execution. The state did an investigation, and prosecutors said he probably is innocent, so we don't want to do it. But of course, Mike doubles down, says everyone else is wrong. We're going through the execution anyway. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, this just sounds like a guy who can't admit when he's wrong. But what did I tell you his problem was? He'll do anything for votes. See, Mike isn't a complete idiot. He knows when he's wrong, especially with an issue as simple as this. But being wrong does not get you votes. So what do? You flip it. You say, it wasn't my fault the teachers got their info leaked. It was this hacker who's trying to take good hard-earned money from you hard-working Missourians. You say, it's not my fault everyone else is saying he's innocent. I'm trying to save hard-working Missourians from people like him. This is because Republican voters love it when politicians are tough on crime, especially for certain people. You say, yes, I pardoned. I don't remember his name, so I'm gonna call him Billy Bob. Billy Bob and his wife for pointing their at Black Lives Matter's protesters. They were just defending their freedom. No to Kevin, who in the governor's words is not a priority. A judge did release him though after 43 years because he was clearly innocent. Yeah, you probably get the picture, but I'm not finished. Yes to Britt, son of the Chiefs head coach, who put a year-old small human in a coma because he decided to drink and go 85. That small human is now in special ed classes and has a brain injury. The mother was furious at Britt's release and wanted answers. Well, here's your answer. Go Chiefs. But again, no to Lamar Johnson, who a judge had to release because, again, he was innocent. And let me stop here because this video will be 20 minutes long if I tell you all the wild things that Missouri Governor Parsons has done. So if you're from Missouri, if you're just curious, look up why Missouri's former police chief resigned. Look up Mike Parsons' response to COVID. Look up what Mike Parsons' former chief of staff said about how Mike Parsons gets his money. Look up what he does to Missouri tax dollars. $50,000 for a new office, Mike. $35,000 for travel expenses. $125,000 increase for your own pay. Say it ain't so, Mike. So just to keep things simple, Mike Parsons will go as far as executing a man if it means one extra vote.
I'm satisfied with it. Whatever, so I already been right there at that moment. And I, what I'm saying, there's nothing changed about it. I'm still, like I said before, I don't believe in the system, the criminal justice system. I don't believe in it, what I'm saying, to that degree. But I know that it can be used for good as well. So if good come out of it for me and for my family and for all those that's been supporting me, then all praise be to Allah. There's a little supplication that the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, he used to say, oh Allah, if life is good for me, then give me life. If death is good for me, then give me death. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I say the same supplication. So yeah, I'm at peace, of course.